What if the biggest threat to your success isn't the world, but your own ego? What if the voice holding you back is the one inside your head? Welcome to Growth Listen. Today, we explore Ego as the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, a powerful guide that challenges one of the most dangerous forces in personal growth, the ego. The book shows how pride, entitlement, and self-importance can quietly sabotage progress, damage relationships, and stop you from becoming your best self. This audiobook breaks down the lessons into 8 clear chapters, each showing how ego affects you at different stages of life. When you're aspiring to achieve something, when you finally taste success, and when you face inevitable setbacks. Through timeless wisdom, real stories, and practical insights, you'll learn how great individuals stay grounded, focused, and resilient by keeping their ego in check. If you want to grow with humility, lead with clarity, and build a life that's strong on the inside, this book will guide you step by step. Chapter 1. Crush the illusion of, I already know. You think you already know. That's the trap. That's the silent ceiling that stops progress before it even starts. The illusion of mastery destroys more potential than ignorance ever could. Nobody falls because they knew nothing. People fall because they believed they knew enough. Listen carefully. Success has a side effect. The moment you win once, your brain whispers a lie. You figured it out. That voice is ego. That voice is comfort. That voice is death to improvement, the most dangerous point in growth. Beginners learn fast. Beginners are hungry. Beginners are humble. Every day is progress. Every skill feels new. They listen. They ask. They study. But the moment you hit your first victory, something changes. The hunger fades. The humility fades. Curiosity fades. You start teaching more than learning. You start talking more than practicing. You start protecting your identity rather than improving your ability. That's when decline begins. Not on the scoreboard, not in the bank account, not in the eyes of the world. Decline begins in your mind the moment you believe you've arrived. Real-world downfalls born from I already know. Look at industries that collapsed. Look at executives who lost everything. They weren't stupid. They were blind by choice. They ignored new technology because the old model always worked. They ignored market signs because we've seen this before. They ignored disruption because we know our customers better than anyone. That's ego talking. That's certainty without evidence. That's confidence without study. And it always ends the same way. A faster competitor, a hungrier team, someone willing to learn when you refused. Sports give the same lesson. Athletes win one championship and stop training like underdogs. They start guarding their reputation instead of building their skill. They fall in love with their image instead of their craft. The second season exposes the truth. The work was temporary. The hunger was conditional. The ego grew bigger than the discipline. You've seen this pattern. You've maybe lived this pattern. A first one becomes a comfort zone. A comfort zone becomes a prison. The moment ego switches on. Ego shows up the moment success happens. It whispers, you're talented. You're special. You know how this works. Notice the language. Ego turns skill into identity. It turns effort into entitlement. It turns learning into showing off. And you stop doing the very thing that created the win in the first place. Being a student. The cure. Humility backed by curiosity. This chapter is not about lowering your confidence. It's about raising your curiosity. Humility isn't weakness. Humility is a responsibility to keep learning, even when you're praised. Humility says, I might have won, but I'm not done. I learned something, but I don't know everything. I succeeded once, but that doesn't guarantee repeating it. Curiosity is the engine of progress, not talent, not accolades, not confidence. Curiosity. Curiosity has no ego. Curiosity has no identity to protect. Curiosity explores the unknown without fear of looking foolish. That's why it's powerful. Powerful people stay beginners. The greatest minds across any field keep a beginner's mindset even at the top. Warren Buffett still spends hours reading. Olympic champions drill basic movements endlessly. Innovators build prototypes that fail 100 times before the world sees one success. They don't assume they know. They test what they know. They challenge what they know. They upgrade what they know. That's the difference. Some people defend their knowledge. Others refine it. One protects ego. The other builds mastery. Why? I already know feels so good. Let's be honest. Ego feels great. It gives instant confidence, instant certainty, instant superiority. But it's fake confidence, fake certainty, fake superiority. It's emotional sugar. It gives the feeling of progress without the work of progress. It's a short-term comfort that destroys long-term competence. True confidence doesn't need ego. True confidence is built through hours of learning, reflection, repetition. It does not need to announce itself. It is visible in results, not words. How to break the illusion. You want the antidote? Here it is, simple, brutal, effective. Rule number 1, assume you are missing something. Not because you're weak, because reality is complex. Ask, what I not see? What am I blind to? What has changed since my last success? This keeps you awake. It keeps you sharp. It keeps your brain open for data, not praise. Rule number 2, learn from people with results, not opinions. Don't ask the audience. Ask the practitioner. Don't chase validation. Chase accuracy. Rule number 3, rebuild the basics constantly. Winners revisit fundamentals. Losers chase shortcuts. The basics are what break under pressure. Rebuild your foundation every season. Rule number 4, make curiosity your identity. Instead of saying, I know this, say, I'm learning this. Identity shapes behavior. When you adopt learner as identity, you stop needing to prove you're smart. You start wanting to become smart. A mental exercise. Take the most successful area of your life: money, career, fitness, skill, relationship. Now ask one question. If I had to start from zero tomorrow, what would I study first? That answer exposes what you've stopped learning. That answer shows the gap between who you are and who you could be. Do the same exercise in your work. If my strategy failed today, what skills would I need tomorrow? The gap is real. The gap is power. The gap is where growth lives. The ego-free approach to mastery. True mastery requires freedom from ego because mastery is uncomfortable. It exposes weaknesses. It reveals blind spots. It demands correction. Ego hates correction. Ego hates weakness. Ego wants to look strong instead of becoming strong. But mastery has no audience. Mastery happens when no one is watching. Mastery is repetition without applause. If you need recognition to learn, you won't learn at all. A warning you must hear. Your first win is not destiny. It is data. Your first success is not the finish line. It is the starting point of real competition. The game gets harder after the first win, not easier. The world expects more. Competition sharpens. Pressure increases. You either evolve or repeat the past until it stops working. If you rely on old knowledge in a new world, you are already behind. Kill the illusion of I already know. Replace it with the discipline of I'm here to learn. Study again. Ask again. Practice again. Rebuild again. Stay a beginner. Stay empty enough to grow. Stay hungry enough to search. Stay humble enough to listen. Because mastery isn't a destination. It's a mentality. It's a posture. It's a lifetime commitment to curiosity. An ego cannot survive curiosity, which means If you want to win the long game, the student must kill the master inside you. Chapter 2. Stay a student, even when you're winning. Victory is dangerous, not because you won, but because winning changes how you think. You went from curious to confident, from hungry to comfortable, from student to expert. That shift kills growth. It's invisible. It feels positive. It feels deserved. And that's why it's deadly. Ego ends learning the moment success begins. Winning creates comfort, and comfort breeds stagnation. Winning isn't growth, it's feedback. People misunderstand success. They think winning means the work is over. No, winning means the work finally matters. The result is feedback, not a finish line, not a trophy that secures your status forever. It's proof that your strategy worked once, under certain conditions, against a certain level of competition. Now everything changes. The world changes. The market changes. The game evolves. You think what worked yesterday will work tomorrow? That's ego. Winners aren't protected by past victories. They're punished if they stop evolving. Comfort is the enemy of champions. The moment you achieve something real, comfort arrives. It's subtle. You start choosing ease over pressure. You start celebrating instead of studying. You start defending what you did instead of questioning what you missed. Comfort is flattering, rewarding, relaxing, but it's also corrosive. Pressure builds diamonds. Comfort builds decay. You can't grow in the same environment that encourages you to stop trying. Champions create tension intentionally. They train like underdogs after they become champions. Not before. After. That's the difference between a winner and a one-time event. The greatest study harder after victory. Study the giants in any field. They don't slow down after they win. They increase the workload. Warren Buffett reads 5 to 6 hours a day. He doesn't stop because he made billions. He keeps learning because tomorrow's opportunity demands new knowledge, not old victories. Top martial artists practice the basics thousands of times. Not fancy moves, not highlight tricks. Fundamentals, over and over again. Why? Because ego wants complexity. Mastery requires simplicity. Beginners chase complicated solutions to feel intelligent. Masters refine simple principles to stay effective. This is why legends outpace competitors. While the world celebrates them, they prepare for the next battle. While others talk about them, they train unseen. Their identity is student. Forever. Identity determines destiny. Listen closely. Your identity will determine your destiny. If your identity becomes winner, you will feel pressure to defend that image. You'll play not to lose. You'll avoid experiments. You'll avoid criticism. You'll avoid situations where you might look unskilled. That is death to learning. But if your identity is student, you will remain flexible. You will welcome correction. You will seek information. You will embrace humility. Students evolve. Winners resist. So choose carefully. Which identity do you want to offend? The one based on what you did once, or the one based on what you can become over a lifetime? Success creates echo chambers. Winning generates applause. Applause creates noise. Noise hides reality. People stop telling you the truth. They soften feedback. They protect your feelings. They stop challenging your thinking. Now your weaknesses grow unchecked. Your blind spots expand. Your skills plateau. You think everyone agrees with you, but they're not agreeing. They're avoiding conflict. That's how leaders crumble. That's how companies collapse. That's how individuals get blindsided by change. When you're winning, you need more criticism, not less. You need more challenge, not more comfort. So here's a rule. The higher you rise, the harder you must listen. The illusion of arrival. You reach a milestone. You achieve a goal. You earn the promotion Build the business, win the competition. And the mind whispers, you made it. Arrival is an illusion. There is no made it. There is no finish line in personal growth. Growth is continuous. The path expands the more you walk it. Every milestone is the start of a new chapter, not the end of the book. You didn't arrive. You unlocked a higher level of the game, more difficult, more competitive, more demanding. Victories open doors that expose you to bigger tests. As you rise, your ignorance has higher consequences. Your lack of preparation costs more. Your mistakes hurt more people. That's why the best stay students, because they understand that each level requires new skills. Winning creates fewer learning moments unless you create them. When you're struggling, lessons are everywhere. Failure teaches quickly. Pain teaches thoroughly. Weakness is exposed openly. But when you're winning, lessons hide. You need a trained mind to find them. You must manufacture your own learning moments. You must seek mentors even if you're admired. You must ask questions even if you have answers. You must pursue practice even if you're praised. This is intentional learning, not reactive learning. Losers learn because they must. Winners learn because they choose to. Practical instructions, what you must do now. 1. Schedule learning before celebration after every win. Before the celebration, before the praise. Sit alone and reflect. Ask what worked. What failed but went unnoticed. What did luck cover up? What do I do next to elevate further? This separates real progress from random success. 2. Don't announce mastery. Demonstrate each time you want to say, I know this. Force yourself to show it instead. Mastery is visible through execution, not confidence. 3. Study the new landscape. Success changes the terrain. Your competitors change. Your expectations change. You need a new map. Study trends. Study patterns. Study your own mistakes. 4. Ask dumb questions your ego hates looking stupid. But stupid questions lead to smart answers. Ask them, often, and without apology. 5. Create environments that challenge you. Join groups where you're not the most skilled person in the room. Play at higher levels. Seek pressure. If you're always winning, you're not learning. 6. Never stop training the basics, whatever your craft. Return to fundamentals daily. Don't let complexity distract you from what actually wins. Simple done well beats complex done poorly. Why it's so hard? This mindset is difficult because it requires ego death. It requires admitting you don't know what you thought you knew. It requires starting again. It requires being wrong. Most people would rather protect their identity than improve their ability. They would rather be seen as great than actually become great. But greatness isn't a look. It's a practice. It's a lifestyle. It's a student mindset, repeated for decades. Stay a student, even when you're winning, especially when you're winning. Success is not evidence of mastery. It's evidence of potential. It's an invitation to deeper work. Your achievement today is the starting point of your transformation tomorrow. Don't let ego steal that from you. Let your victories fuel humility, not arrogance. Let your wins increase curiosity, not certainty. Let your progress deepen your hunger, not your comfort. Because the person who keeps learning after success will always outperform the person who stops. You haven't arrived. You've begun. Chapter 3. Earn respect, don't demand it. Everyone wants respect. Few want the work required to deserve it. Ego wants recognition without the grind. It wants titles, praise, visibility without the effort. It wants the crown without the kingdom. It wants leadership without responsibility. But here's the truth most people never learn. Respect is not requested. It is earned, not through talking, not through claiming, not through performance for attention. Respect is earned through demonstrated competence, repeated over time. People follow those who deliver results quietly, not those who speak loudly. Respect is the result of proof. Respect has rules. You cannot hack it. You cannot demand it. You cannot force it with threats or titles. Respect forms naturally when people observe consistency, skill, and integrity. They see what you do. They see how you behave. They see how your actions match your claims. That creates trust, and trust creates respect. Without trust, everything collapses. Your words are noise. Your authority is artificial. Your influence is temporary. Respect is the outcome of reality, not the performance of ego. Leadership isn't status. It's service. Real leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. Real leadership is about carrying weight others can't. Leadership is service, not status. The leaders we remember didn't lift themselves higher. They lifted others higher. They weren't obsessed with attention. They were obsessed with impact. The world respects the servant who became a leader, not the leader who never served. A person who demands respect becomes a dictator. A person who earns respect becomes a guide. The difference is simple. One takes. One gives. Ego confuses authority with leadership. Ego wants a title. It wants a symbolic sign of power. Manager, director, founder, boss. But titles don't make leaders. Titles don't create competence. Titles don't inspire loyalty. People don't follow titles. They follow outcomes. They follow excellence. They follow someone who proves they can deliver. Ego assumes authority, deserves respect. Reality says only leadership earns it. Authority is granted. Leadership is built. Authority can be taken away. Leadership cannot be stripped because it lives in the respect of others. Respect comes from what you do under pressure. Everyone acts confident when things are easy. True character is revealed in difficulty. Respect is earned when things fall apart, and you don't. Respect is earned in the late nights, the tough calls, the decisions that benefit others more than you. When stress rises, ego collapses. When stress rises, leaders show up. Respect forms when people watch how you handle adversity. Do you blame? Do you hide? Do you look for excuses? Or do you step forward and take ownership? People remember who stood firm. People remember who stayed calm. People remember who protected the mission and the team. That's leadership, not speeches, not performance, not theatrics. Leadership is visible when no one wants the responsibility, and you take it anyway. Respect is built in the dark. Ego wants applause. It wants the crowd. It wants recognition now. But respect is built in the dark, where no one sees the hours, the mistakes, the repetition. The quiet work creates loud results, and loud results create real respect. You cannot shortcut the invisible work. You cannot cheat the unseen preparation. People admire the success they can explain. They wonder how you did it. The answer is never mysterious. You earned it, not through talk, not through image, not through ego, but through 1,000 invisible decisions to show up and grind when others didn't. The loudest voices often have the least proof. Look around you. There are people shouting their brilliance, people broadcasting their greatness, people obsessed with proving worth. It's insecurity, not confidence. They demand respect because they haven't earned it. The loudest voices often have the least results. Real winners don't need to declare their value. Their work speaks louder than any introduction. You know someone is great when their results introduce them before they arrive. Humility attracts respect. Ego repels it. Ego screams, "Look at me." Humility whispers, "Watch what I do." The world trusts the second voice because humility is grounded in reality. Ego is built on performance. You want respect? Stop telling people you're great. Show them greatness. Stop selling potential. Deliver outcomes. Stop needing validation. create undeniable results. People follow example, not demands. True leaders don't say, respect me. They say, follow me. Not in words, in action. They go first. They take risks first. They bear weight first. They model the behavior they want from others. They embody the standard they speak about. Anyone can give orders. Few can set the example. Respect forms when people see you live your values, not when you preach them. Real power comes from responsibility. Ego wants control. Leaders take responsibility. There's a difference. Ego thinks power means getting what it wants. Leadership knows power means serving what's needed. Responsibility is the foundation of respect. When you own failures instead of blaming, when you protect your team instead of yourself, when you absorb pressure instead of spreading panic, people feel safe. People feel proud to follow you. People respect the strength you show in weakness. Behavioral instructions. How to earn respect. This chapter is meaningless if it doesn't change your behavior. So here's the tough love implementation. 1. Stop announcing. Start producing if you have time to brag. You have time to work. Silence your claims. Let your results talk. 2. Go first. Don't ask people to do what you won't do. Pick up the weight. Stay late. Lead from the front. 3. Take ownership, no excuses. No blame. If it's your project, your mission, your vision, then everything is your responsibility. 4. Make others better live people. Teach them. Serve them. A leader whose team grows earns permanent respect. 5. Leave your title at the door, earn respect like a beginner, even if you're the boss. Act like you have something to prove every day. 6. Protect integrity over image if you must choose. Choose truth over popularity. Respect isn't built by being liked. It's built by being principled. Earn respect, don't demand it. Demanding respect exposes ego. Earning respect builds legacy. Let your identity be shaped by competence, not by image. Let your authority be rooted in service, not in status. Let your influence come from what you do, not what you say. Respect follows the person who shows up, delivers, and makes others better, not the person who declares themselves important. Speak less. Do more. Serve deeply. Lead humbly. You want respect? Go earn it. Chapter 4. Kill entitlement before it kills you. Entitlement is the quiet killer potential. It destroys hunger. It destroys urgency. It destroys the instinct to earn anything. Entitlement convinces you that you deserve success. It tells you your talent is enough. It whispers that your dreams should arrive because you want them badly. This is a lie that steals entire lives. Entitlement is passive. Entitlement puts you in a passive position. You wait. You hope. You expect. You believe success will eventually show up because you feel worthy of it. But success doesn't respond to worthiness. Success responds to effort. History is filled with wasted potential. Talented artists who never disciplined their craft. Gifted entrepreneurs who never showed up consistently. Brilliant thinkers who never turned thought into execution. They believed ability alone should carry them. They believed being special was enough. It wasn't. Talent without work is noise. Ideas without execution are fantasies. Dreams without effort are delusions. Entitlement teaches you to wait for rewards without work. And the world does not reward the waiting. It rewards the grinding. No one is coming to save you. This is a harsh truth, and the most freeing one. No one is coming to hand you the life you want. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to carry you to your potential. Your life is your responsibility. Your success is your job. Your results reflect your work, not your wishes. Entitlement feels good in the moment. It protects your ego. It makes excuses sound noble, but it kills your future. Because every moment you believe something is owed to you, You refuse to build a version of yourself who earns it. Nothing is owed. Nothing is owed. Not opportunity, not attention, not support, not recognition, not success. You are not special because you want something. You are not special because you believe you deserve it. You only become special through effort, discipline, and contribution. The world pays for value, not desire, not potential. Value. Entitlement tricks you into thinking wanting something is equal to earning it. But wanting is free. Earning is costly. Entitlement avoids cost. It avoids sacrifice. It avoids discomfort. So it avoids a path of transformation, the only path that produces results. Success is rented. Rent is due daily. Replace entitlement with responsibility. That is the shift that changes everything. You don't own success. You rent it, and rent is due every day. Not once. Not when you feel like it. Not when motivation hits. Every day. This mindset eliminates entitlement instantly because you stop believing your past effort guarantees your future outcomes. Yesterday's work paid for yesterday. Today requires new effort. Tomorrow will require more. This is how winners see the world. They don't protect their ego. They protect their discipline. Entitlement feels like confidence, but it's fear. Entitlement disguises itself as confidence. I know I'm destined for great things. I deserve better. I'm meant for more. It sounds powerful. It feels inspiring, but it's hollow. Real confidence comes from evidence. It comes from stacking wins. It comes from honoring commitments. Entitlement is fear pretending to be belief. It is the fear of doing the work, the fear of failing publicly, the fear of discovering you are not as capable as you think. So instead of testing yourself, you demand recognition. Instead of building yourself, you defend your identity. Instead of acting, you narrate a heroic story that never happens. Potential is worth nothing. Potential is a trap when mixed with entitlement. When someone tells you you have potential, what they really mean is you haven't done anything yet. Potential is a debt, not a gift. It is the gap between your ability and your results. The world is full of people with potential who will never realize it. Why? Because they choose identity over improvement. They choose the comfort of believing they could do it, instead of the discomfort of actually doing it. Entitlement worships potential. Responsibility destroys it. Responsibility replaces potential with performance. The entitled mind versus the responsible mind. Here's the contrast. Entitled mind. I deserve success because I want it. Responsible mind. I will earn success because I work for it. Entitled mind. Others should support me. Responsible mind. I will create value so support becomes natural. Entitled mind. I'm special. Responsible mind. I will become capable. Entitlement focuses on what should be given. Responsibility focuses on what must be built. One waits. One moves. One complains. One creates. One demands. One earns. Which one wins? Always the one who moves. Entitlement shows up subtly. You might not call yourself entitled, but watch your thinking. Entitlement is hidden in the language you use. When is it my turn? Entitlement. Why is it so hard? Entitlement. Someone should help me. Entitlement. I deserve better. Entitlement. Those sentences come from the belief that the world owes you fairness. It doesn't. The world owes you nothing, but it responds to action. You want your turn? Take it. You want results? Earn them. You want better? Become better. Everything else is wishing disguised as reasoning. How to kill entitlement. This isn't just philosophy. This is behavioral. You must remove entitlement at the level of action. 1. Earn every win, no shortcuts. No hacks. If you didn't earn it, reject it. Train your mind to value effort more than outcome. 2. Accept radical responsibility. Everything is your fault. Not literally. Psychologically. Act as if it is all on you. This mindset creates power. You stop waiting for external change and start building internal force. 3. Never let praise change your work. Praise is dangerous fuel for entitlement. If someone applauds you, work harder. Don't let approval become your ceiling. 4. Make discipline your identity, not talent, not potential. Discipline. Let your identity be built on habits, not hopes, on repetition, not rhetoric, on action, not adjectives. 5. Get obsessed with the process, not the prize. The prize is a result. The process is who you become. Entitled people want the prize. Responsible people want the transformation. Kill entitlement before it kills you. Entitlement kills dreams quietly. It kills them through delay, through expectation, through excuses that sound logical. It keeps you stuck in a story where everything should come easily, instead of life where everything was earned through grit. Nothing is owed. Everything is rented. Rent is due daily. So pay it. With effort, with discipline, with consistency. Success belongs to the ones who earn it over and over. Stop waiting for your turn. Start taking responsibility for your results. Your life begins the moment entitlement ends. Now the question is simple. Are you owed something or are you earning everything? Choose wisely. Your future depends on it. Chapter 5. Silence the need for approval. Ego is addicted to approval. It craves applause more than achievement. It wants to be seen winning more than it wants to actually win. This addiction is invisible. It feels like ambition, but it's insecurity. It feels like connection, but it's control. You think you are working toward your dreams, but really, you are performing for other people's reactions. Your goals become a stage. Your effort becomes a show. Your life becomes an audition, and the price is brutal. You lose the ability to create for yourself. You lose the ability to think independently. You lose the ability to make decisions without fearing judgment. Approval is a trap made of praise. Approval is ego's oxygen. Ego can't breathe without validation. It suffocates in silence. It panics in solitude. So it seeks attention desperately. It posts everything. It talks loudly about plans it will never execute. It measures progress by reactions instead of results. The ego doesn't ask, "Is this right?" It asks, "Will they like me?" It doesn't ask, "Does this matter?" It asks, "Will I get praise for it?" When approval becomes oxygen, authenticity dies. Your decisions shift from principle to applause. Your identity becomes a mirror of other people's expectations. And suddenly, you don't know who you are without feedback. Approval seeking weakens decision-making. Seeking approval destroys judgment. It paralyzes your ability to choose the uncomfortable path. You start avoiding risk. You stop innovating. You filter every idea through the question, what will they think? But the people who change the world are laughed at before they are celebrated. Innovators are mocked before they are admired. Pioneers walk alone before others follow. The early days of greatness are lonely. There is no applause at the beginning. Only doubt, only criticism, only silence. If you need approval to move forward, you will never choose the path of greatness, because greatness is invisible until it's undeniable. Social approval has never built a legacy. Think about it. Who built history? The ones who refused to bend to the crowd. The ones who trusted their vision. The ones who didn't wait for permission. Steve Jobs wasn't asking for approval. He was forcing the world to catch up. Rosa Parks didn't ask if her choice was popular. She acted on principle, not applause. Picasso wasn't painting to be understood. He was painting because he had something to express. The pattern is clear. Approval follows courage. It never precedes it. If you need applause before action, you will never act. If you need praise before persistence, you will never persist. Approval seeking turns you into a slave. When you chase approval, you become owned by strangers, people you don't know and will never meet. Start controlling your choices. Your confidence rises and falls based on comments. Your identity bends to likes and opinions. Your value becomes a reflection of reactions. That is slavery. Soft slavery, but slavery. The chains are invisible, but they are strong. They are built from your desire to be liked. Approval is emotional handcuffs. It binds your potential to the opinions of people who don't live your life. Free people act from values. Prisoners act for applause. You must choose which one you want to be. The identity of approval is fragile. If the foundation of your identity is validation, you are always unstable. When people praise you, you rise. When they ignore you, you fall. When they criticize you, you break. This means you never have true confidence. You have confidence on loan, borrowed confidence, least confidence. Real confidence is internal. It comes from evidence. It comes from commitment. It comes from doing the work without needing anyone to watch. Your identity must be built on your values, not their reactions. The quiet worker always wins. There's a pattern in mastery. The quiet worker beats a performer. Why? Because a performer works for attention. When attention fades, effort fades. The quiet worker works for progress. When attention fades, nothing changes. When you stop needing applause, you become unstoppable. You no longer depend on the crowd for energy. You no longer wait for motivation. You work because the work is who you are, and that makes you dangerous in the best way. Silence the audience. Hear yourself. The noise of the world is drowning out your intuition. You don't need more opinions. You need more clarity. Silence is uncomfortable because it forces you to face yourself. It forces you to ask questions that have real answers. What do I want? Not them. What matters to me? Not them. Who am I without applause? These questions reveal the truth. Most people don't have personal goals. They have collective expectations. They chase what looks impressive instead of what feels meaningful. Approval replaced purpose. Silence reverses that. In silence, you rediscover your internal voice, the voice that knows your values, the voice that sees your potential, the voice that leads instead of follows. How to kill the need for approval. This is not theory, it's practice. You must starve your ego of validation. Here's how. 1. Stop announcing everything, let your results speak. Stop telling the world what you're going to do. Just do it, then show the outcome. Talking steals momentum. Action builds it. 2. Build alone. Share later work in silence. Trust your vision. Don't show the draft, show the masterpiece. 3. Accept criticism as information. Criticism isn't about you, it's data. Use it to improve, not as shrink. 4. Make decisions based on values, not votes. Ask yourself, would I do this if no one ever knew? If the answer is no, stop. You're performing, not living. 5. Practice discomfort every day. Do something that scares you without telling anyone. Strength grows in the dark. Silence the need for approval. It is poison. It is distraction. It is ego dressed as ambition. Applause is addictive because it feels like progress. But it's not progress. It's noise. Approval is a drug. It gives you the feeling of achievement without the achievement. Reject it. Detach from it. Grow beyond it. Your identity must be internal. Your foundation must be values. Your proof must be your work. Greatness never asks for approval. It earns respect slowly, silently, consistently. Let your results be the loudest thing about you. Let your discipline be your reputation. Let your actions build a story other people tell. Because when you stop needing praise, you become unstoppable. And when you become unstoppable, the applause comes anyway. But by then, you no longer need it. You are here to build, not perform. Act accordingly. Chapter 6. Do the work no one applauds. Real progress happens in private, not on the stage, not on the timeline, not in the spotlight. Your future is being shaped in silence. Study that no one sees. Practice that no one praises. Attempts that no one acknowledges. This is invisible territory where greatness is born. Everyone wants the moment. Few want the preparation. Everyone wants the result. Few want the repetition. The spotlight is seductive, but it is not where power grows. You are not building a moment. You are building a lifetime. Private work builds public confidence. Confidence does not come from compliments. It comes from competence. Competence is built alone. You cannot fake mastery. You cannot talk your way into greatness. You must train until you don't need reassurance. The world sees the final version. You must love the early drafts. When you work in silence, your reward is freedom. Freedom from comparison. Freedom from judgment. Freedom from the noise of opinions. Your confidence will not depend on applause. It will be built on evidence. The grind no one sees. Every success story has a hidden chapter. The chapter no one writes about. The chapter no one admires. The early mornings. The late nights. The failures that piled up before anyone cared. History is filled with private grind. The athlete waking before sunrise. Not posting about it. Just building. The inventor working in a garage. No one believing. Just building. The writer rewriting a single chapter 10 times. No audience. Just building. These moments are invisible and essential. The public sees greatness. The private knows the struggle. The work that matters is boring. The ego hates routine. It wants excitement. It wants visible achievement. But mastery is boring. It is repetition. It is refinement. It is the same action done 1,000 times until the world calls it talent. The spotlight skips the journey. It only lights the finish line. You must fall in love with boring work, because boring work produces explosive results. Your ego wants applause. Your growth wants discipline. Choose growth. You don't need witnesses. There is a dangerous belief. If no one sees it, it doesn't matter. This is a lie that kills progress. The truth is the opposite. If everyone sees it, it's too late. The work should already be done. The gym is empty when champions train. Studios are silent when artists experiment. Notebooks are full before a single book is published. Witnesses are irrelevant. Effort is everything. Your future success is a result of hours you will never talk about, hours you will never post, hours only you will remember. And that is how it should be. Do the reps without rewards. Applause is not fuel. Routine is fuel. Applause is inconsistent. Routine is controllable. If you only work when people are watching, you will never become dangerous. You will never become undeniable. Do the reps no one rewards. Do the drills no one respects. Do the practice no one understands. Others will laugh. Others will question. Others will misunderstand. Let them. They are spectators. You are the one working. Spectators don't grow. Builders grow. Silence is a training ground. Silence is uncomfortable. There's no validation there. No feedback loop of approval. And that is why silence builds power. When you train without witnesses, you learn to measure progress internally. You learn to pursue execution, not attention. Silence forces you to confront your weaknesses, not hide them, not explain them away, but train them until they become strengths. In public, ego protects you. In private, Effort transforms you. You must choose transformation. Let go of the spotlight. The spotlight is a distraction. It makes you chase impressions instead of improvement. You cannot serve two masters, growth and attention. If you choose attention, you will shortcut the process. You will show finished work too early. You will seek praise before perfection. If you choose growth, you will build quietly. You will work deeply. You will focus on skills, not selfies. Let go of the spotlight. The spotlight is a false finish line. It tricks you into thinking the work is done. It isn't, not even close. Build a lifetime, not a moment. Moments are cheap. Moments fade. Moments are trends. A lifetime is built through compounding effort. 1 hour today, 1 hour tomorrow, one brick at a time. A moment is a highlight. A lifetime is a legacy. Most people want their viral clip. Few want their entire career to matter. But the ones who matter, the ones we remember, weren't chasing a moment. They were building something so real it outlived them. You are not here for attention. You are here for transformation. The hidden economy of effort. There's a private economy that the world never sees. You are investing time. You are investing repetition. You are investing boredom. And the returns come later, interest compounding into skill. Most people want payoff now. Mastery gives payoff last. You must delay recognition. You must delay applause. You must delay the world's understanding. Because the world only understands after the work is undeniable. Action steps. How to work in private. This chapter is not philosophy. It's instruction. 1. Create before you share, build privately. Share only the finished result. 2. Train without posting, do workouts without cameras. Do study without screenshots. Do practice without an audience. 3. Track internal metrics, measure progress by skill, not likes. Measure hours practiced, not recognition received. 4. Protect your routine, let routine be sacred. Schedule practice like a meeting with your future self. 5. Love the invisible work, find joy in the unseen. Smile when no one notices, because that is your edge. Do the work no one applauds. That is where power is forged. Let your grind be unseen. Let your progress be private. Let your standards be higher than their expectations. When you stop needing applause, you start building something real, something rooted, something unshakable. And here's a paradox. When you do the work no one sees, you eventually create results everyone sees. But by then, you no longer need the praise. You no longer depend on spectators. You no longer chase validation. Because you know the truth. The spotlight belongs to those who trained in the dark. So train, work, invest, in silence, in solitude, in devotion. You are not building a moment. You are building a lifetime. Chapter 7. Accept failure without falling apart. Failure exposes ego. It strips away illusion. It reveals the truth. That's why ego fears it. That's why ego hates it. That's why ego collapses under it. Ego interprets failure as identity death. If I fail, I am a failure. That is the lie. That is the trap. Failure is an event, not a verdict, not a definition, not a destiny. You fell. You get up. That's the process. But ego doesn't want the process. Ego wants instant success. Ego wants perfection on the first attempt. Ego wants applause without the mistakes. So when reality shows up, messy, tough, unforgiving, ego melts. It lashes out. It blames others. It searches for excuses. It protects its imaginary reputation instead of rebuilding its real ability. That's the difference between growth and stagnation. Not talent, not opportunity, not luck, recovery. Resilience is the death of ego. When you can look failure in the face and stay calm, ego has no power left. When you can admit a mistake without collapsing, ego loses its grip. When you can rebuild without applause, ego starves. Greatness is not built on streaks. It's built on comebacks. Think about every legendary achievement you admire. Behind it sits a graveyard of failed attempts. Attempts no one posted about. Attempts no one clapped for. Attempts no one cared about. The public sees the summit. The private story is the climb. The Wright brothers crashed dozens of times. Edison burned through thousands of prototypes. Athletes lose more practice reps than they win. Writers cut more words than they publish. Entrepreneurs launch ideas that never survive. But the ego doesn't admire the messy part. The ego wants a highlight reel. So when you fail, the ego screams, "This wasn't supposed to happen. This is unfair. This means I'm not good." It builds stories instead of building skill. Understand this. Failure is information. It shows where you're weak. It shows where you're blind. It shows where you're unprepared. If you treat it like humiliation, you get defensive. If you treat it like intelligence, you get better. Let me be blunt. People who fear failure never learn anything real. They don't try big things. They don't take risks. They don't stretch their own potential. They choose small lives to avoid small embarrassments. They prefer safety over expansion, comfort over progress, validation over growth. That's why ego is the enemy. It convinces you to protect your pride instead of building your power. You have to choose. Be impressive today, or become powerful over time. You cannot have both. Not at the beginning. Not when you're still becoming who you're meant to be. The early version of you might look foolish. Good. That means you're in motion. The early version of your craft might be cringe. Good. That means you're evolving. The early version of your ideas might fail. Good. That means you're working at the edge of your ability. Failure is not weakness. Avoidance is. Here's the simple truth no one wants to say. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who stays stuck isn't inspiration. It's tolerance. Tolerance for awkward first attempts. Tolerance for criticism. Tolerance for setbacks. Tolerance for uncertainty. People think resilience is emotional toughness. It's not. It's capacity. Capacity to stay in the game when the game gets uncomfortable. When you stop seeing failure as something to escape and start seeing it as something to analyze, you become dangerous. You become the kind of person who learns faster. You improve while others retreat. You adapt while others defend their ego. That's how momentum is built. Small failures, deep lessons, quick adjustments, relentless repetition. Here's a mental shift that destroys ego. Detach identity from outcome. Say it clearly, I am not my result. I am the effort. I am the discipline. I am the learning curve. The outcome is just feedback. It shows where your current ability stands. It shows what your current strategy produces. That's it. It's not a prophecy. It's not a personal judgment. Your worth isn't measured by your last attempt. Your potential isn't capped by your last mistake. Growth is iterative. Identity is flexible. Skill compounds. Failure is simply a snapshot of the journey, not the entire story. Let me give you the harsh reality ego avoids. Success demands thousands of quiet corrections. Corrections others never see. Corrections you never brag about. Corrections that only matter to the future version of you. Everyone wants the trophy. Few want the tape review. Everyone wants the praise. Few want the painful truth. Everyone wants to win. Few want to dissect the loss. So the masses complain. They blame. They numb themselves. They move on without changing anything. Winners do the opposite. They look at the mistake directly. They feel the sting. They tell the truth. They identify the gap. Then they fix it. That is resilience, not positive thinking. not motivational speeches. Adjustment. Ego says, failure means I'm not enough. Discipline says, failure shows me what's next. Ego says, this is embarrassing. Wisdom says, this is information. Ego says, quit before they see you lose. Courage says, keep going till they see you win. Remember this line, the comeback is more impressive than a clean record. Anyone can look perfect by never trying. Anyone can avoid judgment by avoiding growth. That's not success. That's hiding. Real strength is built in the open, where mistakes happen, where people watch you fail, where progress is slow, where confidence is earned. Failure without ego is unstoppable. You stop taking things personally. You stop hiding from reality. You stop defending your weaknesses. You start improving them. You don't collapse. You don't retreat. You don't spiral into self-doubt. Instead, you examine. You adjust. You apply. You try again. That is how leaders are made. That is how innovators break ground. That is how athletes break records. That is how creators change industries. Through organized failure, through repeated learning, through controlled risk. Resilience is a habit, not a personality trait. You build it with each setback you survive. Every failure you don't run from rewires your brain. It trains your nervous system to stay calm. It trains your mind to learn instead of panic. That is power. So ask yourself the real question. What would you attempt if failure didn't scare you? Who would you become if mistakes didn't ruin your identity? How far could you go if every setback made you smarter instead of smaller? The answer is simple. Further than you imagine, stronger than you think, bigger than your current story. Ego doesn't want you to see that. Ego is fragile. It needs perfection to feel safe. It needs approval to feel valid. It needs outcomes to feel worthy. You don't. You need effort. You need truth. You need persistence. You need lessons. Let failure teach you. Let resilience shape you. Let your mistakes become the blueprint for your rise. Because failure is not the end. Failure is the instruction manual. Get up. Learn the lesson. Move forward without the ego. That's how you win. Chapter 8. Let success speak for you. Ego loves noise. It loves announcements. It loves attention before achievement. Ego talks loud when results are small. It publishes dreams before steps. It celebrates potential before progress. It claims victory before the work is done. Greatness is the opposite. Greatness is humble. Greatness is patient. Greatness is quiet. Top performers don't share plans. They share outcomes. They don't advertise intention. They demonstrate execution. This is the discipline of silence, not secrecy, not hiding. Silence is confidence. Silence is strategy. When you're working, you don't need applause. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You only need focus. You only need consistency. You only need proof. Understand psychology. Ego seeks external energy. It wants hype. It wants excitement. It wants recognition without sacrifice. But hype is cheap fuel. It burns fast. It leaves you empty. It fools you into believing you've already arrived. Speakers get the dopamine first. Doers get it last. The crowd gives you the feeling of progress. But feeling isn't progress. Movement is. You don't build mastery by talking. You build mastery by doing. In every field, the quiet ones win. They train while others tweet. They build while others brag. They execute while others seek attention. Think of inventors in garages. Think of athletes who wake up before sunrise. Think of artists refining work no one sees. Think of entrepreneurs testing ideas without applause. They are doubling down on their potential, not marketing it, not defending it, not announcing it. This is the rule. Public talk decreases private work. Every minute spent broadcasting a dream is a minute not spent building it. Silence protects momentum. Noise breaks focus. Ego wants to prove itself with words. Competence proves itself with outcomes. A quiet mind builds. A loud ego convinces. One creates reality. The other creates illusion. You've seen it. People announcing new goals every month. People claiming expertise before they've earned skill. People bragging about a project still in the idea stage. People telling the world who they'll become before becoming it. This isn't confidence. It's insecurity disguised as ambition. Confidence is silent because it's grounded in action. When you know you're working, you don't need to tell anyone. When you're tracking progress, you don't need applause. When your identity is built on discipline, you don't need witnesses. There's a simple truth. Results are undeniable. Results shut down argument. Results eliminate doubt. Results silence critics. When you show outcomes, no one asks for promises. When you deliver performance, no one questions effort. Success is a language. It speaks louder than any speech. It has no excuses. It has no explanations. It simply exists. The strongest confidence is evidence. The strongest reputation is consistency. The strongest argument is achievement. Let the word defend you. Let the results do the talking. There's a strategic advantage in silence. People can't judge what they don't know. People can't sabotage what they can't see. People can't copy what isn't revealed. Privacy isn't secrecy. It's protection. You protect your ideas while they're fragile. You protect your goals while they're forming. You protect your confidence while it's growing. The world rewards finished work, not unfinished noise, not half-built ambition, not premature self-praise. So stop broadcasting potential. Start building performance. Silence changes the way you think. When you're not seeking reaction, you're seeking clarity. When you're not performing for others, you're performing for yourself. You make decisions based on truth, not approval. You prioritize progress over perception. You become free. The ego asks, how will this look? Discipline asks, will this work? Wisdom asks, what am I learning? Attention distorts judgment. Silence sharpens judgment. Let me be direct. If you need applause to move, you're weak. If you need approval to try, you're stuck. If you need an audience to work, you won't last. Real success requires long seasons of invisibility. Years no one will remember. Days no one will record. Hours no one will appreciate. You won't get likes for practice. You won't get followers for repetition. You won't get compliments for corrections. That's reality. That's where growth happens. The real scoreboard is private. Your habits, your discipline, your progress curve, your internal standards. The crowd sees a finish line. You live the training. That's the difference. The ego talks too early. It wants a shortcut. It wants the reward before the challenge. It wants identity without the investment. That's the trap. That's how ego sabotages achievement. You become addicted to the feeling of being on the path without ever walking the path. You use announcements as emotional credit. You create momentum in your imagination instead of your results. Talking about goals can replace working on goals. It fools the mind into satisfaction. That's why silence is powerful. It forces you to earn the feeling through action. You want the dopamine? Earn it. Do the reps. Do the hours. Do the work. Don't use words as a drug. Here's the shift. Stop trying to be inspiring. Start trying to be undeniable. Undeniable requires results. Undeniable requires discipline. Undeniable requires execution. When you're undeniable, the world comes to you. You don't chase attention. You don't seek validation. You don't beg for recognition. People want to align with winners. People want to support results. People want to follow competence. Not talk, not noise, not hype. Let silence be your confidence. Confidence built on work. Confidence built on pressure. Confidence built on proof. You are not building a moment. You are building a lifetime. A reputation earned through consistency. A legacy earned through effort. The moment will come. The spotlight will come. The recognition will come. But it must be earned. Earned through outcomes. Earned through results. And when it arrives, you won't have to say a word. Your success will speak for you. So here's your challenge. Tell less. Do more. Announce nothing. Build everything. Let your ambition live inside you. Let your discipline express it. Let your results confirm it. Because true greatness doesn't need an introduction. It shows up. It delivers. It proves itself without noise. Quiet effort. Loud outcomes. That's the path. That's the difference. That's real confidence. Let success speak for you. Ego distracts us when we're starting out, blinds us when we succeed, and discourages us when we fail. But once you recognize its patterns, you gain the power to rise above them. The real strength of this book is its reminder that humility, discipline, and self-awareness are not weaknesses. They're the foundation of lasting success. When you stay grounded, you make clearer decisions. When you stay open, you learn faster. And when ego loses its grip, you become someone capable of real growth. As you move forward, keep these lessons close. Practice them in small moments. Notice when ego shows up and choose a better response. Over time, this quiet discipline shapes a stronger, wiser version of you. Thank you for listening. If this audiobook supported your journey, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Growth Listen. Your support helps bring meaningful content to more people on the same path. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep choosing humility over ego.